Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are looking at some turbo cringe. You are going to need to put on your best cult indoctrination safety vest and goggles because holy moly, I have not seen all of these videos from this Become Jehovah's Friends series. As you guys know, one of the things that I cannot stand is the Caleb and Sophia or these. It's because it's so directed at children and it bothers me to no end. But I decided that I would just finally bite the bullet and watch the entire catalog, and it was an awful decision. But I have picked a few of the ones that I thought were kind of goofy enough to at least laugh a little bit and talk about and hopefully not cry too much about. But with all of that being said, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and let's do this. So right off the bat, we get some scenes of paradise, which is always absolutely hilarious to me. The first thing that I noticed is if you are a Jehovah's Witness from the olden times, Abraham, Noah, David, you get to keep your beard. But if you're a modern day Jehovah's Witness and you think you can have a beard, no, bucko. You need to keep that subscription to Dollar Shave Club up. We are going to be running that business and you are going to be having a smooth as a baby's bottom face. It's absolutely ridiculous how they always portray the olden time people with these like beards and this long hair, and then everyone else is just, well, here's Gary with his tan pants and his polo. Anyway, the other thing that I noticed was they had these solar lamps in their little courtyard area, so always a big head scratcher there. Where are they getting the technology to create these solar panels and stuff? It's always a mind blower when you really start getting to the nitty gritty of like what paradise is going to actually be like. But far and away, the funniest thing to me, and this is something that I thought even as a Jehovah's Witness, isn't paradise going to be boring? If you're just talking to the same people, let's think about how Jehovah's Witnesses look at paradise. Oh, well, we're going to have a chance to get to talk to Abraham. Okay, so he's going to tell you about how he walked through a desert with some camels and some tents, and he offered his wife to a pharaoh, and then he moved, and then he had some more camels and tents. How interesting is that? Because remember, this isn't for 10 years. This isn't for 1,000 years. Imagine this is 1 billion years in the future. 1 billion years in the future, do you think a child's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He's going to tell us about how he walked through a desert with his camels and set up tents. Oh, Grandpa, I can't wait to hear this story again for the 100,000th time. Honestly, what in tarnation do they think is exciting about being in the paradise? And the craziest thing is how they are showing these people building the statue of Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and she's holding the rock like, oh man, we can't believe this prophecy. That changed about 15 times. It actually all came true, and no, boom, and it hits the Anglo-American world power. Kaplooey, and we're all back into the paradise. I cannot think of anything more grim than rereading the Daniel book for 1 billion years. My brain can't even conceive of living for 1,000 years. Like, I can't even conceptualize what that would be like. But 1 billion years? And you're telling me that the most exciting thing is rereading some Watchtower publication from 1998. If I was alive for 1 billion years and we hadn't figured out like interstellar travel, if we weren't using wormholes to see other alien civilizations on the other side of the Milky Way, like, this is so boring. Why would you want this? This is a prison, a perpetual prison of being a Jehovah's Witness. No, thank you. I'm good. Sign me out. Show me the exit door. Absolutely hilarious to me. But as they want children to think about this, they're growing up and it's naturalized. So they don't ask these types of questions. They normalize, oh, well, we're going to be in the paradise and it's going to be so happy. But as soon as you ask yourself, well, what is going to be happy about the paradise? It gets a little complicated. So me and my brother, we actually had this whole thing where we thought, oh, well, there was going to be, shout outs to my brother for actually doing some free thinking, but we had conceived of this notion that, well, the universe is so big and it must be this big for a reason. And so in paradise, we're going to get to explore other planets and meet other civilizations that had their own Adam and Eve. Some of them didn't sin. Some of them have been sinless and are really sophisticated and advanced and scientific and technology. And like, that'll be really cool because you're going to be alive forever. So you're going to want something to do. And it's funny because like as a Jehovah's Witness, you have to try and rationalize these things if you think about them. And if you don't, then 5 billion years from now, you're going to be talking about a book from 1995 about a statue from a man's dream. Yeehaw.
My mom works hard every day. She takes good care of me. We always find time to pray. It makes us happy. My heart is full of love in my family of 3. Together we can do anything. Jehovah, my mom, and me.
The thing that really bothered me about this one is it is difficult enough being a single mom. It is an incredible amount of responsibility. I mean, being a single parent, I suppose, in general. But, like, I know, like, the video's cute and she's mixing, I don't know, it looks like tekbaki, if I'm not mistaken. I'm supposing this is Korean. I don't really know, but that's what the visual tests. I think they were having like kimchi. Anyway, whatever the case is with all of that nonsense, it's hard enough being a single parent, but being a single parent as a Jehovah's Witness is made more difficult for, a couple of different reasons. One of them being there is a judgment associated with being a single parent. If you don't know about this, then just go and ask someone that used to be a Jehovah's Witness that was a single mom or a single dad. And they will tell you that the whole narrative of, oh, we need to take care of the fatherless boys and the widows and all of that isn't real. There is a level of judgment that goes along when you are a single parent. And I don't know exactly where it comes from. I think it's just that snooty Jehovah's Witness style of like, oh, well, what happened to your partner? Well, you must have been disfellowshipped and had a baby out of wedlock. And then you are always looked down upon. And that makes it incredibly difficult. You don't need that crap in your life when you're just trying to hold things together. And then the other aspect of it is you have more work to do now. Already, you are giving every ounce of energy that you can muster. And now some bozos come along and tell you, okay, well, don't forget to read the daily text before they go to school. And, oh, hey, you got to go and service on Saturday morning. Oh, don't forget about the meetings. And, oh, you got to do family worship. And all of this other extra stuff that's very difficult and time-consuming. So this one is just absolutely stupid. I hate how they, as a Jehovah's Witness, how they treat people that are single parents is horrible in my personal experience. Maybe it was okay for some, maybe other people did. Zizi, what is wrong? Are you upset too? Okay, that's fine, bucko. Okay, anyway, I thought you were gonna bite me or something. Anyway, this one's annoying. Let's move on to the next. We're gonna try a new thing. We're gonna move Zizi's cat tree right next to the desk, and hopefully he'll just sleep in it and not try and bite me and be a little assassin.
Our house will be your home. You have a family of your own. And most of all, Jehovah God, He will teach you. We can't wait to meet you.
Oh boy, this video was a real wild ride. It's basically these kids singing to their unborn baby brother, "We're so happy to meet you," and immediately indoctrinate you into our religion. It's wild just how intense Watchtower wants families to keep their Jehovah's Witness identity intact, to the point where they are making children's sing-along style videos where they can talk about kids indoctrinating unborn siblings. I mean, I guess we could laugh at how they're like, the kid gets off of a taxi and, hey, here's your baby. So that's pretty funny in and of itself. But he gets out of the taxi. So let's just say, this is just a cutesy little narrative. They are greeting this new child into the world, according to this metaphor. They're greeting him after he gets out of the taxi with a Watchtower book like, hey, this is what we are. This is who we are. We are Jehovah's Witnesses, goddammit. And we are going to make you one by hook or by crook. It is crazy that it's like, as soon, they even have, I know, articles in the past and probably videos as well, about reading Watchtower indoctrination propaganda to a child while it's still in the womb. And then the kids hit them with the true combo. And they're like, oh, as soon as that kid comes out, we are indoctrinating them.
Little one, you learn each day to live life Jehovah's way. You're a gift from above. You will always be loved, my little one.
Raise your hand if you found this one to be annoying. You will always be loved, my little one. Well, I can tell you from personal experience that is not accurate. Kind of like how it's inaccurate to say that Zizi is really annoying during recording. This is just a ridiculous thing that they're programming into children's minds. Like, oh, no, your family will always love you. When they literally have rules built in. It's anti-love rules that are built in. So if you're born a Jehovah's Witness and you get baptized, at any moment in time, you could just be immediately cut off from all of your family. And it gets really bizarre in some crazy ways because I have family that has been inactive for decades that still don't talk to me just because I'm outspoken. Like, they're essentially not Jehovah's Witnesses, and yet they still refuse to have any contact with me because I'm outspoken against the organization.
When he was young, David loved God. He prayed to him and sang him songs. His God looked down, heard him sing. Then he chose him to be king. He faced a bear and a lion with its claws. He was not scared because when David heard what they had said about Jehovah, his friend, a giant fell from David's single stone. He
I don't know about you, but I don't think David should be a shining example that's held up to children. Oh, wow, you really should be the role model for my kid. You killed the bear and you killed a lion and you did some murder when you were a teenager or a young man. Then you were anointed as king and you abused that power and used it to take other men's wives for yourself because you saw them taking a bath and just couldn't control yourself. I don't think that's a great example. And one of the worst aspects of the whole David narrative in the Bible is that if you are trying to raise a child, why would you want to teach them that, oh, well, you can do whatever you want? Just say, sorry, and then everything's fine. And you don't have to have it face any consequences. Even the case of the Bathsheba incident. Like, oh, he was weeping and wailing because the kid was sick, and then it eventually died, and he just put some regular clothes back on, took a bath, ate some food, and say, why am I going to mourn what's already dead? And he walked off. Like, read the stories in the Bible. It's awful. And I wouldn't want to raise a child with that attitude. Like, oh, you can be an insufferable jerk and an asshole and a criminal and a murderer. But as long as you are willing to say, I'm sorry, hey, bucko, it's all good. You never have to face any consequences for that. It's not a healthy mentor that you want for a child.
When I'm loyal to Jehovah, it makes him happy to see. And when I'm loyal to Jehovah, he'll be loyal to me.
This is a real negative aspect of growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, is because you are put in this really peculiar situation where you're taught that there is this all-powerful, all-knowing God that can see you all the time, that knows everything that's going to happen in the future and everything that has happened in the past, and your decisions are going to affect him to such a degree where it can either make him happy or make him sad. Even when it comes down to being at school and making Christmas decorations. Or people singing the Pledge of Allegiance. That God's happiness is predicated on you. You, as a little tiny child, are responsible for that omnipotent, omniscient creature's happiness. It's a lot of pressure and anxiety that goes into being raised as a Jehovah's Witness kid. The other aspect of this one, obviously, is the isolation, because it's like, okay, well, here I'm at school, and I am fundamentally standing out as different. And when people ask me the questions of, well, why can't you celebrate these holidays? Or why don't you do the Pledge of Allegiance and things like that? Those questions can be very difficult to answer for adult Jehovah's Witnesses because they aren't very well grounded in Scripture, as all of us know. So it's just a horrible position to be in when you're growing up as a Jehovah's Witness kid and you're fed this constant narrative that every single little step that you take and move that you make, I'll be watching you. Man, that song is forever ruined in my mind now. Come to think of it, that song's kind of weird, isn't it? This will be the last one that we're looking at here, and the writing, I had to include it in this compendium because the writing is so bad. It is awful. This is my family, we are a family, I love my family, so say hi to my family. I'm just gonna keep rhyming family over and over again, like some rap song that just rhymes yeah with yeah. Cool. Like it's some pretty low effort, and I will come out and say, after listening to all of these, Some of them were kind of catchy. Some of them, the message in them wasn't too bad. It was being clean, being nice and kind to other people. The message wasn't that bad, and they were kind of bops, to be completely honest, but this one was not that whatsoever. And as you know, on this channel, we like making fun of Watchtower. But that is going to conclude this video. So if you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on this video. It helps us get out to more people on the YouTube. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile. And ZZ was kicked out of the room, so at least for me, I know I'm going to have a good-ass day.